Welcome to today's board meeting. Please note that our next meeting date is October 22nd. We're going to have a pension at 9 o'clock, audit and finance at 9:30. Then we'll move into the general meeting. First of all, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the August 2021 meeting.
So moved.
Okay, Julius, second. Joe, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, for the best part of the meeting, and I believe always, is when we recognize an individual for their service. And today, we're very lucky to recognize an individual that's been here part-time and a full-time capacity. Recognizing over 30 years of dedicated service to the Central New York community by Defend Ross Powell. She started her career at Central on April 10th, 1989 as a part-time bus operator. 1989, a couple years ago. On December 11th, she became a full-time bus operator in 1994. Her favorite routes, I hope we got these right because then we're in trouble, the West Onondaga and Park Hill. You know, sometimes things could be great. She liked the long breaks, allowing her to mall shop and have a breakfast at various banks. That we got right. Okay, that's the important part of it, all right. She also enjoyed the Driver Appreciation Day and Central Clam Bakes and working at the State Fair.
When it used to be fun, yeah.
I gotta fix that in my notes, when it used to be fun. And I think this was the most important part of this. She always felt that Central was her home away from home. And I think that's amazing. And at this point, I'd like everybody to just give her a round of applause. Again, on behalf of the board, thank you, and if you'd like to say a few words, you could address the board.
Okay. Do I stand here or do I go up here?
You can stand right there.
It sounds like she wanna go up there.
Come on over here, want to sit over here? Sit over here. I'm gonna go to the diner, you sit down.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the clock. I appreciate it. And the most thing I appreciated about Central was how they took care of me. I've been through a lot. My daughter died while I was here 6 years ago. Jody Gray and Mike and everybody up here treated me like gold. They took care of me. That's what family does. Then, when the truck jumped through my bus, I am that operator. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. I was messed up for a while, but I came back because I had to. Now, I guess what I could say to you is, I know the company's in trouble. You're not holding drivers. I came in when we were family. We need to get back to being family. Treat everybody with respect and love. You get more out of honey than vinegar. That's it.
Great, all right, thank you. Thank you for your work. I'll never forget that truck that went through that bus.
It's crazy.
How does the truck go through the side of the bus? Or
The side of the bus, like through it.
Right in the center station.
Yeah, I'll never
Some
forget
people,
that.
they see it coming and they get out of the way on the bus.
Yeah, it was,
The video there was absolutely crazy.
You can find it on YouTube. And
You know,
yeah.
you know that bus is back in service?
Put it back together.
What number is it, so I can avoid it?
All the bad luck's gone. That's a lot of duct tape.
Our in-house body shop repaired the bus.
True story, our in-house
Yeah.
guys fixed it from start to finish. Wow. It's out there roaming the streets.
Yeah, it was, it's one of those moments when you're involved with an organization that you would never forget, because thank God people made this. Okay, moving on, we're gonna go to our CEO's report. Brian.
Thank you. I did not have a written report in the packet this week, or this month. I've just got a couple of updates. As I'm sure you've read in the paper, we've had some service reductions. We reached out and notified our entire state delegation, so the 2 senators, 3 assembly members. We notified the mayor's office, the county executive. And it really came down to a decision that we could continue with our regular weekday schedule and miss 70 trips a day, or make a decision, a difficult decision, to cut back service, but put reliable service out there so that we're not missing trips. We made the decision to do the latter. You know, it has caused some angst. We've been working with the school district, we've been working with OCC, because they've had some issues with students not being able to get to their facilities. So we've rearranged a couple of routes, added a trip here and there. So that seems to be working. And with the goal that we are going to be adding back service as quickly as we can. So starting next week, there was a press release. Did I go out? Press release went out. There's a number of routes that we're adding back, mostly suburban service that we cut out completely. So you can now get back and forth from the city to the suburbs. Adding some enhanced service to OCC, making sure the school district is covered. And as we have the bodies to do it, we'll continue to add back service. The other thing I wanted to touch on is anytime we change, increase rates, change our service in any way, we have to have a public hearing. So back when the pandemic first hit in early 2020, we eliminated some routes in Auburn, Auburn to Syracuse, and we readjusted, we kind of moved them around a little bit, but there are some that we've decided are not coming back. So on October 13th, we're gonna be having a virtual public hearing to let the public know that these are gone permanently. I don't anticipate anybody being on it. Maybe you might get a couple people.
Do you need any board support?
Yes, you guys will all get the link if you're available to join. There's gonna be 2 of them, one in the late afternoon and one in the evening.
Send us one.
So we'll send you all the link and you can log on. Like I said, I don't anticipate a huge presence, because these are routes that have been gone. We haven't gotten any complaints that they're gone. So I really don't see a huge issue.
It is never a pleasant experience when you're a board member and you have to go in front of communities for route reductions. It's sometimes hundreds of individuals. Brian and I have been on that side of it, and I usually get 2 rounds, one in Onondaga and one in Oneida. But that's why we try to work very hard to not do this ever. We had to know it drastically before, so I think the management team's doing a good job trying to get through this.
We will, and as we continue to add that, this is the largest class we've had in, I can't tell you how long, over a year. So that's good news. That, because there's attrition, not just in the workforce, there's attrition in the class. You might start with 15 or 20 in the class and end up with 10. They get there, they start sitting through it, then you put them behind the wheel of a 40-foot monstrosity, and they start turning down the city streets, and they realize this is not for me. And that's the right time for that.
It's probably the right decision.
But yeah, so we lose some at that point. But the good news is you might lose people that aren't gonna stick around, so that hopefully coming out of the bottom of the funnel, you're gonna have the cream of the crop.
So quick question, how many in the class now? said 25?
That's in my report.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
I
yeah,
can touch on that.
okay, I'll save it then.
And there might be in the 20s, but that's not all here. That's all properties.
Yeah.
All the classes are trained here for Oswego, Auburn, Utica, Rome. All the training's done here.
Who do you have at these job fairs at that, you know, like at Destiny right now, they have a job market fair going on, and also they have one in October at downtown. You have, I know you only said your center gonna be there, so who you gonna have down there?
It's typically, she's not here.
Amanda, who
Typically
was
Amanda,
here.
who was here earlier, or Kayla, who's another HR rep. We did make a decision to not do the Destiny one.
Okay.
It was incredibly expensive
Okay,
for a 3-hour period, and we just decided not to.
okay.
They charge you for the space to sit in?
Destiny doesn't give you anything
Wow.
free.
That's, yes.
All that empty space?
And they should be glad they have central.
$750?
We did it last month. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
$750 this time.
For what?
for the space.
That's for the space.
What was 600? 600? Last.
That's a lot for a couple hours.
The upcoming one is 750, yes.
Yeah.
Quick question for you on the training. So if you're part of a class coming in, get the training, it's paid, that's great. If you have to get to training, can you hop on a bus?
Yes.
Yeah, you initially, when you start the training, you're considered an employee.
Great.
You can use your employee ID.
Employees all right for free. Any other questions? All right, let's go through our senior staff. Steve?
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
To follow up on something that Brian touched on, you know, our Auburn service that we made service changes to. There were 3 routes that really were affected. One route was a service that went to Moravia that ran once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Service that ran from Auburn through Weedsport, Fort Byron, Elbridge, and into the city of Syracuse that ran once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Neither of those services carried many people. They were less than a handful. The Moravia trip, for example, many times would run completely empty during the course of the day. These were not productive routes. And so when we made these changes knowing that we were going to impact very few people. There was another route that served Tessie Plastics in Welch Allen. We reached out to both of those organizations. Welch Allen continues to use bus services for their employees. We still carry a significant number of individuals for that service. Tessie Plastics, for whatever reason, we used to carry full buses. It was down to 1 and 2 employees that were using it per day. They changed their hiring model. I had discussions with the human resource department. So we made the decision to combine that specific route with the Auburn to Syracuse route, so we could still serve Welch Allen. So the bus leaves Auburn, it'll go to Welch Allen, it goes through Marcellus, Skaneateles, Marcellus, comes to Syracuse. It's a consistent route, it runs the same way every day, and we were able to add service to that particular route with the resources that we took from the other non-productive services. So that's basically what we did in Auburn, is to give you a little more depth of the changes. In your packet, there were equity analysis done for all 4 routes that were affected. It really just, we had to go through and ensure that minority populations and low-income populations were not unfairly burdened by these changes. The equity analysis proved that that's the case. So we just need the board to acknowledge that you've received these equity analysis. So when we go forward with the public hearing, we have a FTA Title VI requirement fulfilled. Above and beyond that, does anybody have any questions regarding what we did in Auburn, why we did it?
Maybe any negative feedback?
I don't, we received, initially, when we did these changes, we received a couple of phone calls, people were inquiring about the service. We walked them through the process. And we haven't heard from anybody in the past 9 months. It's just, I don't think there were, I think the individuals that were using the service found other means. I know particularly the Moravia service really was a park and ride service where individuals would drive their vehicles to a local mini mart. They would all get on the bus and go down to Moravia and come back. They're probably driving. The individuals through Jordan and Elbridge, there were a handful of people. and it just wasn't a lot of people really sustaining that service. So. As Brian also mentioned, we had moved to an enhanced Saturday schedule last week, a couple weeks ago. We resumed service. We will resume service Monday to Baldwinsville, North Syracuse, to Liverpool, 57 corridor, Henry Clay, and Central Square with limited commuter service. We've already received a couple of emails and reached out to some individuals. We're very thankful we're able to quickly resume that service. Our ridership numbers obviously have been affected by the change in the service levels. Previously, our ridership levels were about 45 to 50% reduced from where it was pre-pandemic. We're now less than that. It's closer to 55%. But if you look at it from where we were 3 weeks ago to where we are today, we did retain about 70, 71% of our ridership, which is good. But we need to get more riders and more service back on the street. This is just a stepping stone for us to resume servicing. As soon as we get more bus operators in, we'll resume service. We've changed our social media policy to a certain degree where we're only putting out right now really basic information. We've kind of stopped some of the fluff that we did. We want to make sure that people understand that we're solely focused on getting drivers, resuming service, and getting information to them as quickly as possible. That's really what I have for my report today. If anybody has any questions, I can answer them.
Good job.
Just,
Tony?
just a quick question. The fairs that you're doing and the recruiting that you're doing, is it diverse staff that's going out? Talking to people?
No.
No.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. One of the things we are just gonna start doing is adding, so when we're doing bus operator interviews, is adding a bus operator to the group.
That would be great.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, just simply because, one of the things we're hearing from the operators that are like training is that, they're coming back and saying, you shouldn't hire this one. So I thought it'd be good to have their perspective in the meeting.
You have a lot of employees who are very familiar with the community. Those ones that you know you can trust and are positive should be part of that process, because there's trust already.
Good point, Joe. Good point. Excellent. Anything else for Steve?
That's why I had indicated earlier, possibly when we still have our Zoom meeting with the TNT program, and maybe we could see that, maybe come in, explain it better.
Yeah, whenever.
Absolutely.
Happy to do it.
Yep.
I'll send you a notice and then find out when it's convenient for you to.
Yeah, pass it on to me too.
Okay.
Just go ahead and schedule it.
Okay.
I'll make it.
Okay.
Tuesday mornings aren't good for me, that's the only thing.
They're gonna be Zoom.
Any other questions for Steve? This will require, board action to accept the
Equity analysis.
equity analysis.
Yeah, so motion out there to accept the equity analysis that was presented by Steve. Well, second, Monty, all in favor? Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, good job, Steve. Jack.
Yep, Vicky.
Okay. Good morning again.
Good morning.
Just a little bit of an update I'm gonna give you on our recruiting efforts and everything. We do have a new driver's class that is going to be starting on Monday. We have 21 trainees that will be starting. 15 are in Syracuse, 3 are from Oneida, 2 are in Cayuga, and 1 is in Oswego. So we also attended a couple of job fairs over the past month, along with having the tent set up at the New York State Fairgrounds to try to recruit more applicants, whether it be drivers, accounting, maintenance, everything across the board. Unfortunately, we didn't really get a lot of activity at any of these events.
Really?
Yeah. The Destiny Job Fair that we attended last month, there were 68 employers that were set up at Destiny, and we received 7 resumes. The applicants were very sparse. There really wasn't a lot of activity at all out there. Yeah, and that's what we're finding around. So it's very challenging right now to try to recruit employees. in the business. We are gonna be attending a couple more community, activities, and, job fairs. We have one upcoming with Jubilee Homes.
That's
I know.
October.
Yes,
first.
yep, that's October 1st.
That's at downtown too.
Yep, so we will be there for that one. And any other, activities or, recruitment events that come through the community, we'll attend them. So hopefully we'll keep, trying to build our pool.
I've been talking to a lot of people on my websites and stuff like that about jobs, and I indicated to them that $300 extra they've been getting a week is going, and we try to help them get their, some of them don't know how, as far as their resume is concerned, they don't know how to put a resume together, so with Jubilee program and other programs in the library, we're trying to help them to get their resume together and stuff like that, because that's so important, so. Sometimes they think, if I volunteer and do something, I can't put that on my resume, but they can.
You know, Jackie, we just had one at our college, and we used to have job fairs where you couldn't even get through.
Yep.
You would avoid that building because of that. It was so sparse, I couldn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't even normal.
The same with us, Nick. I mean, we've had job fairs where we've had people lined up for, a long period of time, and, we've had, a couple dealing, but they said it was very, very sparse,
So
the ones that they've been to.
At your job fairs, you're looking for accountants, drivers, mechanics, the whole.
Everything,
gamut.
everything. We put everything, yep, supervisors, inside, outside supervisors. We have everything, available for them. We speak to them about all of the, positions, that are available to them. We ask them if they're interested to fill out a resume and everything, and we bring them in. But
What kind of picture you have, like, some people, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe you have a picture of the drivers set up there.
we do.
Do you have that?
Yep, we have a huge, standing billboard that has driver, mechanic, and cleaner servicer on it, advertising Centro that you see out in the public that we've, had up on the billboards and everything, that same picture we're using. Along with, on the back of it, it lists all the open positions throughout the company,
They
basically.
put a little sound effect on it too,
Yeah, I know.
So 21 in a new class. How many in your present class?
That-
Drivers.
That turned in 2.
Okay.
What'd you start with?
7? We started with 7 and we have 2 that turned in.
So yeah, so that was the attrition thing I was talking about. It's not just
Yeah.
existing drivers that, like, the lady that was in here today retiring. I mean, you lose those, you get one every once in a while that's going to another job. But when you start a class with 7 people and you end up with less than a quarter of that, or a quarter of that, that's tough.
You lose money.
Yeah. Yes.
And what, your classes are once a month or every other?
So, we typically have 3 classes a year. However, we've added, more this year in order to try to get our numbers back up. We're actually thinking about adding another class in November in order to hopefully get another good group of maybe 15 individuals in here.
And you don't care where they're from, right? So they could
No.
be from Oswego County and come.
No, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We have some drivers that live in Oswego and drive for us.
Yeah, we're trying to, I'll talk to you more. We're
Okay.
working with workforce there. That
Okay,
may
yeah,
Take the ride.
yeah.
We told them to take the bus. We'll get you there. Okay.
Yep.
One question,
Yeah.
how well, how do I put this question? How well are the Central and the union working together on this problem? Are they working pretty well, or there's some difficulty?
Brian, you wanna answer
Politically.
that?
I see it.
Just
Have some
right,
coffee.
talking about difficulties in the hiring piece.
Well, yeah, the union are working with you in order to help with hiring this.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we put out there is, an initiative to recruit, other individuals. And we have an actual recruiting bonus that if the union employees refer somebody, and if they stay for 6 months, they get $1,000 bonus.
Is that one for the board?
No.
was about
No,
to say.
unfortunately, no.
Well, I don't need a part-time job.
How come
But,
I retired?
you know, I mean, we're doing that because if people know, you know, able and eligible people to work, you know, why not help
And they were
out?
pleased to hear that we're gonna start bringing, one of the operators in for the interviews.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk to these young people, they gotta start thinking about their career, you know.
In retirement, right?
Retirement, yeah.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. Yeah, Bob?
Our health insurance benefits are very robust.
Yes.
They're very competitive.
Yes.
Do the applicants, do you sell that, and do the applicants realize the benefit?
Yes, we do. In fact, we go over, you know, all of the benefits that would be available to them, along with the health insurance, the 401k match that we have, you know,
I'm gonna comment a little bit on that, cause it's a point that I was in a conversation with yesterday about, youthful individuals somehow, as I saw a recruitment at a job fair, I saw the New York State Troopers, and I was talking to them about exactly what we're talking about here. And people, I think the younger people see the salary, okay? First of all, retirement is,
That's a
I'm never
wall,
gonna get
yeah.
there, okay? And I'm probably not gonna be here for that, okay, even though people don't understand the portability of retirements, okay? The other thing is health insurance, you kidding me? I'm too strong, I need
Yeah,
health
I gotcha.
insurance, okay? So, the great benefits that are offered here, I think
Irrelevant.
they're over here. It's, show me, right, you know? And I just think it's something of the new times of, I can't remember, I did a little study on this, but how many times this generation will change jobs?
7.
Yeah.
Is it 7? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was 5 or 6, but,
Trust me.
yeah, so I mean, this is all new on
Plus
how we're
everything
gonna
is
attack
on
this.
computer now, you know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it too, for that new generation, is work, life balance too. And this is a hard job. I mean, being a bus operator, you're here 12 hours a day sometimes. So, you know, that's something that we have to look into, you know, how do we improve that?
What I like about this new generation though, the adaptability to change. They adapt to change a lot quicker than any of us around this table. Yeah.
Trust me, I have 2 grandsons, and I hear just exactly what you were saying. That's the pitch they give me.
I was at your kitchen
Left
table
one.
the other day for the conversation.
Are there static locations? So, obviously, there's job fairs, there's tabling at, maybe it's Destiny, elsewhere. What are the locations that are fixed where I know, or I might be able to go and grab an application, other than coming down here? Can I do it
You do it right online.
online?
Yes.
Are there physical paper copies anywhere, or is it all just go to the website?
Most of it is virtual, like through Indeed or, you know, at centro.org. Or if they want a paper version, they would have to come down here or, go to one of their hub locations.
And I spent about 20-30 minutes on the computer last week searching Indeed and looking at, like starting rates, and we're the highest.
Yeah, you pay better than we do, and we're all over Indeed, but it mixed results.
Yeah.
At best.
The only ones that were higher than us were like the large, over-the-road buses, like, Greyhound and companies like that.
Well, even mechanics and things like that, you guys, your rates are pretty good.
So if you think about it, the shortage of school bus drivers
Yeah.
and what we pay with our benefits, how are they ever gonna recover right now? You know what I'm talking about? It's,
They're not recovering very well.
Not yet. They're not.
Well, part of the challenge too, and you know, we've talked about this, is the work-life balance. So I can go drive for First Student, it's a Monday through Friday gig. I'm done 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4:30 maybe. I might make a couple bucks less an hour, but I'm not working weekends, I'm not working holidays. So I mean, that's the challenge for us. For for us, it's the schedule. You know, you can sit there, you can waive all the money you want. When you sit down and look at it, that, you know, like Jackie said, you're here for a 12-hour day, and 3 of it might be sitting down in the driver's room. It's a tough day.
I think it's funny that Mitch, because I officiate, and it's not for everyone.
Mhm.
You know, some people, and
Yep.
and I see bus driving the same. It's not for everyone.
No.
You know, I know we think we can do it until you get out there and start, like you said, driving that bus around. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
How is it established for, like, bus drivers be on driving for so many hours, for them to stop it when they have to go to the bathroom, restroom and stuff like that? You have certain places established that you can go.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
locations along routes that they can use, and all they have to do is just, there's a button on the data head that lets them know, you know, it's a code 10100. They call it in, it goes down to dispatch, and they can park the bus, or safely secure and park the bus to run in and use the facility and come back out.
They don't leave the keys in the
You gotta go to the bathroom, you know?
One other thing I just wanted to bring up and mention to you too is, obviously, we're seeing an increase in COVID cases throughout the community, and there has been an increase at Centro too. So over the past month, we've had 14 employees that have been positive for COVID. So this is also contributing to these shortages too, because they're not here to fill in and, you know,
Yeah.
work their shifts.
If an employee, if it's a bus driver and there's Route 25 is not gonna run, do you put that up anywhere? I mean, just go on your website or, okay.
Yes, it's right on our app and everything.
Website, on our app, you
Yeah.
can sign up.
Steve can.
You can sign up for alerts, you know, if you're always taking, you know, whatever designated route that you take to work, you can sign up to get an alert whenever that route's affected.
Yeah.
You let the news media know, so they,
Goes out to the paper, goes out to all the news stations. Yep.
I
So-
have people who don't read or listen to the news.
So
They
because you
most
don't
things.
oh, the news.
take names,
Oh, my goodness.
there's no contact tracing on the bus, you just have to advertise that something happened.
Usually just,
on
yeah.
whatever
Worried
route.
about.
I'm not.
Okay.
At all. At all.
I'm gonna keep this moving a little bit here, as soon as it was good conversation, I just wanna, I know at least one person has a commitment. Jackie,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Jackie, next time we'll have to take you for 3 hours.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'll be a lot calmer than what Jackie's was, I'm sure. Again, I'm gonna talk about maintenance connection for a little bit. That's one of our biggest projects that we have going on. Replacing and updating our current maintenance program for the buses. We've gone through a lot of testing, we had some data information that was stale and old and not working quite right, so we did a recent cleanup on that process. We're also looking at improving the importing of some of the information that we have that's going on. So that's taking some real detailed time in that process. The preventative maintenance aspect of it, which is linking different parts or steps to that process, is also well underway at this point. We're also looking at adding parts. So we're taking a look at some of the business processes that we're doing, and we're changing some of those processes to update them with this new system. It is going pretty well. One of the other things that we're looking at is that our challenges. Buildings and Grounds has different preventative maintenance programs that they do. Normally you think about, weekly, monthly, and so on. Theirs is seasonally, snow plows and for the summer kind of things. So there's some different things that kind of play in that. And one of the other things that came out with Accruent, which is the main company that does it, they have a new program called Accruent Academy. It's a general training program available for anybody to take a look at what's available, features kind of thing within the program itself. So we're taking a look at that to see how we can utilize that. On our trapeze program, we've been talking about an accident incident tracking system, putting that within the trapeze application. We've made some big steps forward in the testing. We identified some issues this past week, actually, and they're going to be attempting to repair those and to bring those in. We had a nice little conversation with being able to import 3 years of information. So I'm in the process of getting the data that we have out of our access information system to import it into this system. That will really work really well for the annual or the triennial reports that we do to maintain that process. And finally, some good news, we have hardware grant money that has become available, so now we're beginning to take a look at some of the hardware that we need to upgrade and, that's dated in equipment. We have virtual environment with about 50 servers in it. That Nimble storage that's on that is about 7 years old at this point. That'll be one of the first things we'll actually go through and start training. So you may see some RFPs or some other things coming down the road here, letting you know that these are some of the changes that are coming with the hardware grant that's going on. Kind of exciting stuff because we're getting to a newer development from that aspect of it. And that'll probably take 6 to 12 months to go through that whole process. And that's will conclude my quick report at this point.
Any questions for Michael? Good. Very good. Okay. Good job. Good job with those reports. Moving into, in finance, all this was discussed in detail in committee. First motion that was brought to the board meeting, was the approval of the financial reports ending August 31st. A motion was made through committee, bring it to the full board for approval. At this point, I need a motion to accept it. Well, second. Tony, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next one was the central overnight medical plan that Jackie went over. Motion was made in committee to bring it to the full board for approval. At this point, I need a motion. Monty, second. Julius, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving down to resolutions. Caitlin brought forward the overhead door maintenance contract. That was resolution 3C. Committee made a motion to bring it to the full board to award contract to Bonnet Sales and Service for overhead door maintenance for a 5-year contract. At this point, I need a motion.
Motion.
Okay, Noella, second. Monty, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Caitlin also brought forward resolution 3C on the learning management software. A motion was made in committee to recommend that NeoGov be awarded the learning management software purchase for the 21 contract. At this point, I need a motion. Robert, second. Luella, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Tara brought the next two forward. SUNY Oswego Auxiliary Service Agreement. Motion was made to bring it to the revenue resolution. A motion was made at the committee to bring it to the full board for approval. I need a motion at this point. Okay, Neil, second. Tony? Okay, and also Tara brought forward the Student Association Agreement. A motion was made to approve this, move it forward to the board. I need a motion. Neil, second. Joe, all in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, there was no other business at hand there. We did go into executive session on personnel-related matters. No action was taken there. At this point, we have an operations report.
Yeah, pinch hitting for Joe DeGray, who's on vacation. It's Brian Green, Senior Director of Ops.
Great seeing you, Brian.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The last board meeting was obviously August 20th, and through Labor Day, we were an integral part of the New York State Fair this past year. While we only operated sort of a limited schedule at the fair, we were highly successful in providing a good quality service to the community. Throughout this strenuous time frame, obviously within that strenuous aspect was a driver shortage. We didn't miss any fair service, any on our summer schedule, nor Syracuse University service at that time frame. While we were completely understaffed, the continuous service we provided during the fair was recognized by the state troopers most recently. And one of our members, Michael Robinson, my director of operations, is specifically named for his excellent service that he did provide in working with the New York State troopers. I'd like to thank all the operators, maintenance, and staff members who did this year's.
Brian, on behalf of the board, can you send just a thank you for your service? Something up. Thank you.
But a huge thank you to everyone that made this year's fairs a huge success for us at Centro.
Well, you guys, I noticed after speaking with Joe, we were talking that what they expected and what Joe and company here expected, was our numbers more realistic than what the state
We were
expected?
fairly realistic on what we were expecting, I'd say.
Good.
mean, our ridership was about 30% of what the 2019 fair was, and that's encompassing the full 18 days over the 13 days, which it was in 2018. There was 1.3 million in attendance in 2019 versus almost 800,000 this year, so there's a significant reduction.
What was the percentage again?
Our ridership was about 30% difference, and that was, approximately 500,000 to 140,000 people we moved this year versus 2019. 2 weeks ago, Governor Hochul did announce that the state fair is going to be returning to 13 days again from 18 days in 2022. Chris and I did have a meeting this week, starting to begin those discussions and start planning the park and ride structure that we're going to be adopting, hopefully moving forward for the future. And we're going to continue these meetings with the fair shortly to get you on this planning process for the 2022 fair. But pending any questions, that's my report.
Any questions?
Did we have any feedback on the reduced operations here for the fair? From the public, I mean?
Honestly, the biggest was the elimination of the Camillus lows. But when I say that was the biggest, I got 3 emails. I know customer service got a few about that location. Nobody complained about the shopping town one. I think they just figured that that place is a bust and we couldn't use it, but, so all in all, it wasn't a ton.
Yeah, we didn't get much feedback. I think a lot of people understood that this year is a little bit different, and it was just gonna be a different operation for everybody. And there were a lot of vendors at the fair that weren't there, and they understood that, probably the same for the bus service as well.
While we were out there, we actually noticed more of a walk-up crowd than actual passengers riding the bus in the past. On a daily basis, the Red Cross lot across the street from Burned area was 100% capacity. Crucible opened a lot across from, on Bridge Street, right across from us. And there was a lot more traffic walking down from Orange Lot than has been in previous years. So it kind of changed the dynamic of what we've seen in the past.
To add to that, many years, we get ridership when some of their lots are full. So they'll send out a notice saying, hey, we're full, please go to the Central Park and Rides. The lots never came anywhere near close to being full this year. So that type of dynamic didn't occur this year. So the people who rode our buses were people who were intentful to ride our buses.
Gotcha.
Okay, Brian, nice report, good job.
Thanks, Brian.
Any old business? Julie?
As I mentioned to you guys before about the,
Go ahead, yeah.
the internal food consortium, this is what I was, the organization I was telling you about.
Yeah, why don't you explain it to the whole thing here?
Well, the internal food consortium is we give out food, and it's part of them, of people who may need food and stuff like that. So what they're asking now is that, because some of the services are being cut, that if we could put, I had what I want to say and I forgot what I want to say. I was saying to Central, we're gonna put something up here, maybe some type of food container, but we're gonna put non-perishable food here, and then maybe they'll come, they intend to come and collect the food, same time of month or whatever, when it's full or stuff like that.
You do that right down in the lobby.
Right, and right now they having at the, let's see where it is gonna be. At the, Nancy, Canton warehouse, they having a section right now going on, at the day, gonna go to 2 o'clock, discussing with different agencies and Senate and cities and stuff like that, about what they're gonna do and stuff like that. So I'm gonna leave this, you're gonna take a look at this yourself, and I won't get into detail, but pass that around, you can take a look at it. She can explain it better than I try to explain it.
Okay, any other old business, I'm gonna go back to legal committee, I overlooked that after I wrote it down. Any other, okay, legal committee, I'm gonna move this over to Joe.
Legal committee met this morning in executive session where no action was taken. No, sufficient.
No action was taken there, okay. And then the other thing was, I was just looking at my schedule, if we had to possibly move the November 19th meeting, is is there flexibility with the board to move that?
Move it to,
I was thinking about maybe moving it up a week, it might affect the financial things, but.
That would bring it to the 12th.
It seems fine.
yeah, that's fine.
Far enough
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Well, we were
I don't
really,
look that far ahead.
I live on a calendar.
you're gonna bring budget to the November meeting, preliminary
Is
budget.
that too difficult for, do you wanna move it the other, I mean?
The other way
The other
is-
one's the day after
the other way is
Thanksgiving.
Right, no, I know that, know what I'm saying, what about that, would we be able to do a different date possibly, maybe a Monday? I'll ask my colleagues on the board.
In November?
Yeah.
Are you thinking the
Works for
twenty-second?
me.
Yeah, maybe that Monday after, cause, Joe, what do you think? Robert?
Fine for me.
Well,
That's the Monday of Thanksgiving.
Monday of Thanksgiving.
What's the date? 22nd?
22nd.
alright, we'll throw out a couple dates, we'll see if we could, accommodate everybody, apologize for this, but I got like,
Just decided no. Can everybody make it on the 22nd on
Llewellyn
Monday?
can't, Llewellyn can't.
You can.
Never tried it.
Hopefully I can.
I'm sick that day.
Be on the beach that day.
We'll come back together, I wanna make sure everybody's comfortable, 'cause I don't wanna disrupt everybody.
You out there all week.
Okay, you back the following Monday? Okay, show it, calendar.
No, you keep going. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good this week.
So it would be down in here somewhere.
Yeah, no, I did.
As you're looking ahead, so December is gonna be on the 17th?
Well, can you
Yes.
Or no, you're gonna be outside the country?
The first week of December is good for me.
First
I
week.
mean, November.
Yeah, they're not gonna have the budget.
No,
done.
that's what I'm saying. Other
Alright.
than that,
I might, I might have to.
probably phone.
Okay, we'll accommodate you with the phone. Okay, so we're gonna go to that Monday, that would be November, 22nd. Okay?
22nd,
No, Monday the 22nd. Linda, you okay with that? You're the most
Yeah.
important person there that day, okay? Okay, you and your team, all right. Okay, we'll do that, and then December, just so people know, we do have that scheduled for,
17th.
yeah, we do have that scheduled for the 17th. And, okay. Yeah, okay. All right, great, thanks for your, able to move things around. Okay, folks, that's it. Let's have a great, safe week, and, thanks for your commitment here. Meeting's adjourned.